What's up, everybody? This is Showtime's Fight Form. As you know, this is your boy Showtime. First, I have to, I ain't gonna apologize because I was on vacation, but let everybody know I was on vacation past couple of weeks. That's why you have not gotten any drops. I was in the Bahamas living my best life, having too many drinks, and I'm not a drinker. So, I'm back. We back. And in the words of Cam, I'm back, but in a positive light because, he hasn't been playing well. Yeah. So, I first want to do a recap of UFC 269. Great way to cap off the year. I'm not even going to lie, man. This is probably one of the best year pay-per-view cards they've ever had. There's just been nothing but bangers for main events and cards in general. There's so many cards you could argue for card of the year, which is definitely something I do want to talk about in another episode. But man, they delivered. They went out with a bang. This is probably gonna go a little over what I do. I normally like to go 10 minutes or less because I know your attention span is, awful. So I try to make this as quick as possible, but still get in my content. However, I've been gone for a while, so I'm definitely dropping probably 12 minutes today, probably a little bit longer. Who knows? Because there's just so much that happened in this one card. So much to talk about. So many things. I don't know where to start. But I'm going to start off with my personal all-time favorite fighter. That is Dominick freaking Cruz. If you didn't know, now you know. Dominick Cruz is my favorite fighter. I love his analytics. I love the fact that how he just downloads and how he approaches fight. His style is so unorthodox and it's fun to watch. People make it seem like this guy is boring because he has a lot of decisions, but there's nothing boring about this man's footwork, nothing boring about this man's strikes. And I've said this several times. The man actually tries to finish fights. He just don't have power like that. He can't control that. At the end of the day, God blesses people with certain power. Francis Ngannou. But God also blesses power like Jake Shields. Unfortunately, Dominick Cruz, he's not Jake Shields level striking as far as power, but it's not that great. He's not going to really knock too many people out. So, I thought he put together a phenomenal performance. Outside of him getting clipped, he looked amazing versus Pedro. And Pedro's a great fighter. Granted, I've said this before. I didn't say this on wax, but I said this to my friends and stuff like this, talking about the fights. This was kind of a tailor-made fight for Cruz. Pedro is a stationary target. He's not great dealing with targets that move. He likes to stand and bang a lot. He has great guillotines. However, oh my goodness, man, Cruz still looked good. He took a shot from Pedro that Cody couldn't even take. So, it's very, we're going to talk about Cody a little bit, because obviously chin levels is a lot different. But it's good to know that Cruz still has a decent chin. His footwork is still good. And he put together a lot of good strikes. And honestly, I do think if Pedro wasn't who Pedro is, and if people who don't know may not know, Pedro's never been finished. So, realistically, for a person that doesn't get a lot of finishes anyways, which is Cruz, he wasn't going to finish Pedro. But Pedro just doesn't, nobody finishes him. So, that was to be expected. If it was anybody else, I do believe they would have been hurt a few times because Dominick was landing a lot of good blows. So, it is a step back for Pedro. Pedro has been, on a losing streak of, a few fights lately. So that's not really good on his behalf. But he's still a great fighter. He's been losing to legends, man. He's losing to really good fighters. Now, what's next for Cruz? I personally think he should fight Marlon Vera. I said that right after the fight. I think that's a good fight for both men. I think Cruz is clearly trying to do one last hurrah for a championship fight. I don't have the most faith in him because that's a very tough division. However, I think moving up the ranks or moving up in competition is Marlon. I think Marlon is a step above Pedro, but not by much. I'm gonna be honest with you. And I think that is a good fight for both men. So yeah, Pedro, I think that he needs to fight somebody unranked. He's been taking a lot of good tough fights and he hasn't been winning. So I would give him somebody that's unranked. I really can't think of anybody offhand, but yeah, that's probably next for him. So let's talk about the big cheese. Oh, well, one, we can talk about Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley had his second toughest fight in the UFC. His first tough was obviously Marlon Vera, who finished him. Now, I do believe this was a tough fight for him. However, this is still a fight that we knew he could win, and he won in exciting fashion. The guy is a tough fighter. He can fight. He's just brittle. What do we expect from him in the future? I want to see him fight somebody in the top 15. Here's the thing. If you want to take easier-ish fights, granted, this is a terrible idea because, I don't think this is treating a legend well. Have him fight Frankie Edgar. If Frankie Edgar still want to fight, have him fight Frankie. Realistically, it's a very winnable fight for Sean. It's a credible name. You get a lot of, like, honestly, you're going to get more notoriety for beating the former champ, even though everybody knows Frankie's washed now. He doesn't have a chin. And, you know, honestly, sacrificing to the wolves and it's messed up to do. However, if Frankie still wants to fight, Sean is it's still a winnable fight. We don't sit here and act like Sean is unbeatable. Marlon did beat him. So I think that's the best bet for Sean. I'm excited to see. I hope he can stay healthy. I just don't think his body's really meant for fighting, because every time, you know, you hear he got another injury. Apparently he hurt his hand. He's gonna be out for a month or two. So it's just always something. But now let's talk about the one guy we really need to have a serious discussion about, and that is Cody Garbrandt. Cody freaking Garbrandt. Realistically, everybody, if you would have told anybody, what, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, that Cody would be 1-5 his last 6, that he would have got finished in all of those losses, except for Rob Font, you would have told, I'm pretty sure everybody would have said, you're crazy. That's no way that's gonna happen. This man has too much talent, which is fact. Hand speed, like in his division, or 135, which I will call his real division, you would say he had the best hand speed. You would probably say boxing ability is probably the best outside of, you know, Jan. Like, the guy has so much talent. Wrestling is phenomenal. There really was not too many holes in his game. There wasn't that many, except for, you know, suspect chin possibly, and his defense isn't the greatest. Which, you know, but hand to hand, it's terrible. Also, his fight IQ. He's not the smartest guy when it comes to the ring. Sometimes he makes very dumb decisions, and he loses because of those. It's still very surprising, though, that this man has lost so many fights. I'm going to be one of the people, I'm not going to sit here and like, I don't lie to you. I would never lie to you guys. If I'm wrong about something, I will tell you I was wrong. If I was right about something, I was right. I know I was not able to give my predictions, but I can tell you right now, you can verify from friends, I said he was going to get knocked out versus Kai Francis. I called it. It was easy. It was very simple. Like, I mean, people want to make it seem like it's not just the chin thing, it's his defense. Yeah, it's bad defense, but at the same time, his chin is ass. Realistically, no joke. Max Holloway doesn't have the greatest defense in the world. We just seen that. Has he ever been knocked out? No. Why is that? He's been hit flush several times. Dustin Poirier, who we're going to talk about later, hit Max Holloway flush multiple times. Did he get knocked out? No. Why? Because he has a chin. Yes, he has bad defense. I'm talking about Cody Garbrandt, but he also has a terrible chin. He can't take shots well. He got knocked out in amateurs. That worked his way up. Guess what? Now he's getting knocked out by the pros. He's been knocked out. He's been knocked out several times. Rob Font, realistically, the only reason why Rob didn't knock him out is because he really wasn't as aggressive in the later rounds as he probably should have been. He could have got him out the way too. He hurt. I feel like he hurt Cody so many times. Too many times, if you ask me. So, I mean, I knew it was going to happen. You dehydrate yourself. He looked sick. People wanted to say he looked good. I thought that was BS. He didn't look good. He looked like he was going to die. He looked like Conor McGregor when he was cutting to 145. Actually, he probably looked worse. And then you want to tell me that a guy with a chin that's not great is going to dehydrate himself? We saw what happened to TJ Dillashaw when he went to 125. He got knocked out silly, very easily. Why? Weight cut. Yeah, so I just didn't understand that. It didn't make sense for him to cut weight. If anything, go up. I know it's harder punches, but at least you're not dehydrated. You have water in your system. You have food in your system. You're fine. But he got knocked out, he looked silly, and now he's 1-5. What's next? And in reality, I don't know what's next for Cody. He's on the brink of getting cut, in my opinion. I mean, if Kevin Lee got cut, Cody needs to get cut. Possibly. He's 1-5, bro. He has one more fight. Definitely has one more fight left. If he doesn't win, he's done. You have to cut him. He has to go fight somewhere else. There's no way you can keep this going. And like, realistically, he gets knocked out again. He needs to think about if he needs to fight again, because that's way too many knockouts, bro. It's way too much head trauma. Everybody knows you get knocked out, it is a concussion. He's already had several. He's a phenomenal talent. However, he's not protecting himself. However, he also can't take a punch. Our brains are not meant to be punched. Some people can take a shot better. He's not one of those people. So yeah, very bad loss. Kai's a good fighter, but no way near a fighter that should be beating Cody Garbrandt. What's next for Kai? It's definitely not a title shot. I think he's one fight away. Maybe fight the Russian, Azbak or whatever his name is. I'm sorry, I'm really bad with names. But yeah, maybe fight him, but he's not. No, you're not one. You're not. No title shot, man. Cut it out. So I know I've been ranting, so let me just go ahead and get to the two big ones. The co-main and the main. I don't even know which one I should start with because they're both so juicy, man. They're both so juicy conversations. And you can honestly have a one segment about one and the other. That's how crazy the situations are. However, let's go ahead and talk about the co-main, man. I was just like all of you. I'm not gonna sit here and act like it's just me. All you guys were wrong, and I was wrong too. We all thought that she was gonna get smoked. Juliana Pena has been wrapping us up for years about her beating Amanda Nunes and her ducking, Amanda Nunes ducking her. Nobody believed it. Nobody understood it. Everybody thought it was just another person that's going to get waxed. Why? Because she has been getting waxed the past few years. I mean, bro, you got tapped out by Jermaine Duranami. And guess what? She's a stand-up fighter. She doesn't do chokes. She choked you out. You lost to Valentina Shevchenko. Guess what? She's 125 now. You got submitted by her. And she beat you at the point where you're supposed to be best at, the ground. So there was no way I was ever going to believe. And guess what? They're going to fight again. I'm still going to favor Amanda Nunes. Now, I have to I got to give credit. She did everything she said she was going to do. She's a dog and she out-bullied the bully. I mean, if I want to be honest, and I only could be honest to myself, this may sound like an excuse, but this is what I genuinely believe. And Amanda Nunes looked past her. Amanda Nunes thought about Kayla Harrison. Amanda Nunes did not prepare for this fight. And also, I remember quotes that even Juliana said that yeah, she wasn't prepared for this fight. That's why they had to move it before. Because remember, this got pushed because of COVID. They said, oh, nah, she just wasn't ready. I'm starting to believe that. There was validity to that. She wasn't looking good in practice. So it was like, nah, let's cancel it. That might not be true. And Gianna could have been lying. But I personally, after seeing that was the worst version of Amanda Nunes I've ever seen. Now, also, let's put in perspective, too, that someone brought up, which that I heard brought up. This is her first fight at 135 in a while. And I think they said the last fight was Jermaine, which we all know she struggled in that fight. And if it wasn't her last fight, it was a fight before her last at 135. And we know she struggled at that fight. Maybe this weight cut is not for her. Maybe she bulked up too much at 145 trying to fight Cyborg, and now her body's adjusted. We've seen that in boxing with Roy Jones. Roy Jones went up to heavyweight, bulked up, went back down to light heavyweight. He was never the same. It's possible. It's 10 pounds, but at the end of the day, we have to understand, she's older. The older you get, the more your body's saying, hey, I don't want to go down there no more. So we have to put that in perspective. She might look past her. There's a lot of things that happened in that fight. However, you still got to give credit. Juliana is a dog. She did what she said she was going to do, and she beat her on all three phases in the second round. The first round, obviously, yeah, we saw what happened. And Amanda gassed herself out. So, I mean, I do want to talk about more in depth with this, but I know I'm running way over. However, it was such a fun thing to see. However, like you always have to look at it. It's always amazing to see upsets. That's what makes fights great. That's what makes sports great. You never know. You have to pay, like, people want to just write people off. You can never do that. That's why you have to pay the respects to the John Jones, to the Aldos, to the Anderson Silvas, who had their belts for like 8+ years. It's not easy. You can have an off night. Everybody has an off night. Anderson had off nights, but he still won. Jose had an off night. He won. Like, that's what the greats do. And Amanda Nunes, she had an off night and she got waxed, like, badly in that second round. It was terrible. And she, in my opinion, she kind of gave up. I mean, she didn't even put the hooks in and she got choked out. I mean, come on, bro. Like, at least let her put the hooks in and then tap. That looked like you was looking for a way out. But yeah, what's next for both? Easily rematch. They have to fight again. They have to. Juliana is gonna have to show, with no doubt, she's the better fighter. And once again, I already said, if they fight again, I'm favoring Amanda. There's no reason why I wouldn't. I do think Juliana still got holes in her game, and I don't think she'll be able to take a shot as well. And also, I think Amanda Nunes needs to stop looking for the knockout. If you have power, it will come. You don't have to force it. That's how you get tired. So yeah, and if you want to ward people off you, jab them. You have power in your hands. So yeah. Anyways, let's go into the main event. Charles Oliveira, can we put in the what is it, the meme or the video, the TikTok or whatever, which was "Put Some Respect on My Name" by with Baby, it's Baby, right? Birdman, one of them niggas, yeah, Birdman, like, yeah. So yeah, put some respect on my man's name, man. Y'all been dogging Charles for years now, years, his resume's not good. He's beating bums. Kevin Lee's not even in the league no more. Oh, he gives up. He's a quitter. That's that and the third. Yeah, well, guess what, guys? It's over. That's dead. I'm sorry. We got to move on from this. There's no longer resume. No longer, oh, he gives up. It's done. Dustin, y'all disrespected this man. Y'all had Dustin over this dude. And he was the champ. Y'all, so much disrespect to Charles Oliveira. Let's go ahead and let's put it out. Most finishes ever in the UFC. Mind you, this man's what, 32 years old? Still in his prime. Most finishes. Most submissions ever. I believe he has the most bonuses ever. He has finished 9 of his last 10 fights. And the only reason why he is not 10 for 10 is because Tony Ferguson is legitimately a psychopath. If Tony Ferguson was a regular dude, it would be 10 for 10. Put some respect on my guy. That fight was amazing. First round, you can argue was one of the best rounds of the year, period. He has 2 of those now. Michael Chandler and also Dustin Poirier. I like this better because they both were beating the hell out of each other. Yes, he got dropped, but man, them body shots were getting to Dustin. You could tell Dustin started to lower his guard a little bit because of those knees to the body, which were ridiculous. Charles's body work is so underrated, and it was so nasty. And then also, you know, he was getting chin checked. Dustin Poirier is a hard puncher. I just stated that. He hurts a lot. He hurts most people he fight. I mean, he knocked out Conor McGregor, the only man to do it. So that goes to his power. Now we have to, you know, pay respects to Dustin. Dustin is a phenomenal fighter. He did well enough to win that first round. However, Charles just showed that he is a dog. He has dog in him. He is no longer a quitter. He is mentally tough. He has it to his head like, yeah, this wasn't really my round, but I got more rounds. The pace he put on Dustin, because he was the aggressor, and he put on a constant pressure to Dustin that broke him down. The second round, he knew what the stand-up wasn't going his way. So guess what? He adjusted. People want to complain about the glove grab. I've seen it multiple times. I'm sorry, guys. You guys are missing. Sorry, man. It was close, though. It looked like it. However, I saw mostly wrist. And Dustin got in trouble. He panicked, and that lost him the fight. Let's be realistic. After that, Charles just started wearing on him, and he started being dirty. He just started beating him. And then the third round, realistically, Dustin was a broken man. Charles, who everybody wanted to talk about his mental, guess what he did? He broke Dustin. It was over in the third round. After he took his back, which was way easier than in the second round, it was a wrap. You give Charles your neck, you're not getting out alive. So, like I said before, man, great fight. Charles, we got to start talking about Charles in all-time lightweight discussion. And this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying he's the best. He's not. That's not what I'm getting at. I think Khabib would honestly beat the hell out of Charles. I'm saying he is definitely in the top 5, top 3 conversation all time. He's done so much work now, and he's only going to add to it now. And if he beats Justin Gaethje and then he beats Islam, we really have to start having a conversation. Is he top 2? Possibly 1. Because this man is... Granted, he has holes. Granted, his defense is terrible. He can still take a punch. He's never been flatline KO'd. He gets hurt, but he knows how to survive now. I'm loving the rise of Charles. I love his story. Once again, I've talked about his story before. Check my other pages to see it. I'm super excited for this guy, man. This is a great dude. Honestly, Dustin is a great dude too. 2 better men, man. You really couldn't think of a better. Like, it didn't matter who won. You just knew a good man was gonna win. So I'm happy for both. As far as their opportunities, Dustin, it sucks, but at the end of the day, you know, hey, lost to a better man. Charles, I'm excited to see what's happening in the future. You guys tell me what you think. As always, though, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you like, you subscribe, and all that good stuff. Once again, I said I was gonna go over because there was so much to discuss. Probably gonna do a part 2 of this to talk a little bit more in depth about Amanda and also Charles, as far as where do they go next and what do they need to do for their future. But like I said, thank you guys. It's Showtime's Fight Forum. I'm your boy Showtime. Be blessed.